I've had an epic interview with Łukasz Gągała, an entrepreneur who quit smoking and ran an ultra marathon. So he knows his ways around supplements, listening to your body, and not listening to bullshit healthcare professionals.
This episode is intended for informative purposes only and is intended to serve as medical or professional advice. You should consult your physician or other healthcare professional to determine if this information is right for your needs.
Hello guys, I'm here with Łukasz Gągała again, and this is the second part of our conversation. The first one was about relationships. And right now we are going to delve deeper into this relationship with ourselves, which is going to be the relationship with our body. So, health of a businessman. Let's do this. First, Łukasz, help me define the work-life balance. What is it for you?
For me, work-life balance is like a... I wanted to start pretty offensive about it, but I won't, so I will restrain myself a little bit. And I would say that it's a mixture of having fun doing business or doing work or doing whatever it is that floats your boat, basically. And second, by being in a good health condition, basically. And that's what do I mean by that? It's like when you don't get satisfaction from what you do in your business life, so in your work mode, let's say, you are pretty much unhappy. So it is crucial for all of us to have some kind of occupation, whatever it may be, to derive happiness from it. And on the other hand, we still have to maintain ourselves, our bodies, our relations, our spiritual state of being. And these things are crucial that you have all of them balanced, but not in a way that we used to think about work-life balance, that you have to, work for 6 hours, then 6 hours of relations, then 2 hours of workout. It doesn't work that way. You have to balance it in a long term. It's like with diet. Basically, the calories in, calories out equation works, but it doesn't work on a daily basis. It works in a long-term basis. So sometimes when you, let's say, fast and you don't eat at all, you don't lose weight immediately, you lose it over time. And the same thing works with life and with work-life balance, that you don't have to have it organized or balanced every single day, but it's sufficient that you have it balanced over a longer period of time, let's say over a month, over a quarter, or even over a year, which basically works for me because, as you know, I'm an accountant, and our accounting office is subject to some periodical regulations, let's say, and the first 2 quarters basically are more intense in our occupation because there are financial statements, fiscal declarations, and many formal obligations that we have to comply to. And that's problematic because this period is much more intense than the second period of the year, which is basically less intense in terms of these regulations. And what it does, it makes you work more during the first 4-5 months, and then when the other period of the year comes, you just slow down a little bit. And you are just used to doing that. And when you are aware that you have to maintain the balance over the longer period of time, it's not a problem for you to just embrace the suck, how the soldiers in the US call it, and basically suffer through it and get it done.
Yeah, grind your teeth and just do the work, of course.
Yeah.
So basically, it's the first thing is to understand the seasons of your occupation and at your work, at your company.
Exactly.
All right. So we have this seasonality, and if we understand this seasonality, how do you maintain this daily? Like, how should, or maybe, how does the day of a person who knows how to maintain this work-life balance look like versus the day of a person that doesn't care?
If someone doesn't care, or if someone is so extreme that wants to maintain the work-life balance every single day, it's like ignoring the fact that there are days or periods that you are more busy than in the other periods. So let's say in my example, if I was to maintain my training regimen and my eating regimen and my regeneration regimen during this first half of the year, I would be basically frustrated and overstressed because I simply don't have that much time to train because I have to put more work in. And trying to maintain that intensity of trainings or getting as much time for, let's say, meditation or other practices, maybe it might seem a little bit counterintuitive, but if you invest too much time from the other areas, you have to, let's say, compensate it in somewhere else. And the most obvious thing is to compensate, let's say, sleep, because you still have to work more. So you tell yourself, okay, I'm in a good shape, I'm in a good condition, so I'm gonna, let's say, sacrifice 1 or 2 hours of sleep daily, and this way I'm able to, let's say, get my training in. But getting your workouts in, getting your routines in is always, let's say, advisable. However, if it's for the cost of not maintaining these crucial elements of your life, it's simply pointless. It's like, let's say, delving into biohacking when you don't have these basic crucial things taken care of in your life. So let's say people focus on getting blue light blocking glasses or blackening their bedroom while they're sleeping, let's say, 6 hours, or not eating properly, or I don't know, abusing caffeine. And it's like totally stupid getting into biohacking routines when you don't have these basic crucial things taken care of. So what I mean by that is, it's like you look on your schedule and you see what you have to get in to maximize your results. So for me, it's like when is this first quarter of the year, I am totally aware that I have to focus on the things at work to make sure that all the processes go on, that we are doing everything on time, that we are doing these declarations and so on and so forth. And for me, it's normal that during this time, I just minimize the training volume because I have to work more, and I am totally aware of that these deadlines are pretty short. And I just focus on working while maintaining sleep, diet, and some basic movement. However, not as intense as I normally would during the other parts of the year. So during this period, I also am aware that doing, let's say, more is obviously tempting, because we all have this, and especially me as a double Ironman, have this tendency to just suffer through absolutely everything. But it is most likely to be detrimental for me in the longer run than useful. So what I do is I am just aware that I don't have this much time to regenerate afterwards, and I have to be very sharp, very energetic or energized, and I just have to maintain these crucial aspects while just letting go of the other elements in our lives, because work-life balance is awesome for us. We have to like maintain it over the longer period of time, but there is this toxic notion that work-life balance is something that we have to struggle.
Yeah, exactly. Because at the very beginning, you started with something negative. That work-life balance for you, it's not that positive or something like this. I don't remember right now. But so my question appeared in my head. If this word, this phrase, this thing, this whole concept, if this evolved for you?
Yeah. I thought that work-life balance was some kind of a bullshit conception at first, and I was like, well, work-life balance sounds like something counterintuitive at its core, because how do you balance work and life when work is a part of life? It's like stupid, basically. And if you understand this concept and you know that work is a part of life, you know that you can't avoid it. You can't discriminate its meaning or basically diminish its meaning. But you just have to focus on implementing work more deeply, or connect your work more deeply with your life, because basically what it means is that if you, for example, if you hate your work, if you hate what you're doing, if you're totally unhappy about it, your life will basically suck, and there is no amount of balance that will balance this equation. If there is one thing that is putting you in the spiral of negative thinking, of negative feeling, it's like impossible to balance something that is let's say toxic for you. The greatest example from my perspective is when I was working in a corporation, and I've been working there for I don't know, a couple of years basically, and it was like work from dawn to dusk, and it was totally like daunting. Not only from this perspective that you basically have this feeling that all you do is work, but also from this perspective that you are basically working for nothing. You are doing something that, okay, you're good at it, you kind of like it, but the outcome of it won't be as good for you as it might be somewhere else. And I had this feeling of like doing something that is completely nonsense, that basically puts me in a bad spot in the longer period of time. And it was a moment when I realized that, okay, work-life balance is not about balancing the time that you work and the time you rest or do other things, but basically being aware that work is also a part of life, and that you have to keep the quality of it at a good level to make your life basically a better place. And from an entrepreneurial perspective, it's also one of the causes that we are building with my business partner, our organization, the way we build it, because we think that people extremely benefit from having a cool place where they can work. So like normal hours, no toxic clients, no toxic people, basically in the organization, and it makes your life basically better. Because on the other hand, if you have, let's say, perfectly balanced life, so you have a good life partner, good friends, you eat good food, you have healthy habits, you are doing everything great. But on the other hand, you have this work that it's basically an environment in which you have a lot of toxic people, a lot of pressure. You have to put more time there than you normally would in some other place. And on top of that, you don't like doing what you're doing there. It's like the other part of your life will suck, basically, because this thing will be so unbalanced in itself that it will just unzip you from your boots and rocket you into the moon. And that's basically something that I think a lot of people is missing in this concept, because like the notion, the most popular notion of the concept of work-life balance is let's say dominant right now, is that you have to have all of the elements of the balance, like good enough to not to drag the others down too much. Because
Yeah, it looks like what you're talking about, if we were to translate it into something easier, maybe, I would say that it's like you are eating poison and then you are trying to balance it with healthy apples and, I don't know, fucking bananas. So it just won't work because the poison already took its effect, right, on your body, on your liver or whatever. So yeah, it's quite descriptive, I guess. So balancing here is actually not about fighting the wrong. It's rather trying not to do wrong in the first place. Yeah. So also the choice of our profession should be aligned with what we want to do, so we are not hurting ourselves. We are not hurting ourselves physically or yeah. So yeah, that makes sense for me. So I don't know if everybody perceives the reality as we do, and I had my newsletter readers pose some questions to you, because I asked them if they could speak with an expert who is really good at living healthily practically, which is the most important right now, because we have this tendency to be very good theoreticians, but in practice, so many things are not working. So since you are this double Ironman and you know about health a little bit more, there is this nice question concerning work-life balance, and yeah, so it goes like, how do I even start this? There are dietitians, health experts, and doctors who we are supposed to listen to, and there is so much contradictory information. So this one was really, really good, because as I said, we have this theory all around us, but if we know how to observe, we can see that it doesn't fucking work.
Yeah.
So practically, what do you think about this? How do you even start this work-life balance concerning your health right now, because that was in this bigger context of health and diet and meeting doctors and having conversations with them. So what's your take?
I also might be counterintuitive in this context as well, but I think it's very important to emphasize that there are many concepts, many theories, many professionals who are, let's say, advising people on some contexts, and this advice sometimes is, as our reader said, contradictory to each other. And what it means is that all of these concepts are nuances basically, and if we start to nuancing about diet, about whatever, we will never get satisfactory information for us, because nuancing is like theorizing on a very, very abstract level. So there is no advice basically at this nuanced level. Let's take diet as an example. So should you eat carbohydrates or not? There are experts that say that carbohydrates definitely kill you. Basically, you can't eat sugar because it will kill you. And there are some other experts who say, well, it doesn't matter whether you eat more of this or more of that. It's more about maintaining your calories and so on and so forth. And this is what I call nuance about dieting, because I know people who feel extremely well on ketogenic diet, who are, let's say, super happy about it. And personally, I can't be on a ketogenic diet because I feel always full, heavy, bloated, and with no energy. And what's better, or which diet is better? According to this, none, basically, because how should we perceive all this health advice or fitness advice or diet advice? As advice in general, but also as something that we should test on ourselves, because everybody is different. Everyone have different genetics, different possibilities, different everything pretty much. So let's say a normal healthy standard person can consume milk or dairy products and it's not a problem for them. But if you take the advice of, well, eat dairy because it's great, it has, I don't know, calcium, protein, whatever, and you put that advice into someone who is lactose intolerant, you will basically put their life in danger. The same thing works with, let's say, gluten. Gluten in itself is neutral to the body, of course, if you don't abuse it. However, if someone has celiac disease, it's problematic for them because they can die from consuming gluten. And from my perspective, gluten is fucking awesome, because let's put it out of the way. Pizza is the most single incredible thing in the life of every human being, the most brilliant invention of cuisine all over the world. And if someone disagrees, get the fuck out of here. But being more serious about it, I don't have gluten intolerance, so for me eating pizza is like not a problem. I can eat it, maybe not every day because it's still calorie dense. However, I can eat it now and then and feel absolutely perfect. But on the other hand, I have friends who have mild celiac disease, and when they eat a couple of slices of pizza, they like regenerate from it for weeks. And if someone has a very intense celiac disease or some other food intolerance in that realm, they might even die from eating one slice of pizza. And it's like, let's say, nut allergies. When you have allergy to almonds or to walnuts or to whatever, you might die from them. However, nuts in general are very, very healthy for our brains. They are a source of healthy fats. They are basically awesome. So if you delve too deep into that nuance and into those experts, let's say, who tell you, oh, this is absolutely bad, you can't do it, you are putting yourself at risk, that you are basically like confusing your mind, and you are putting yourself in a place in which you will be totally scared to do anything. So my advice is to start slow. Like, start at doing these big things. Don't focus on the nuance. So don't think about, let's say you are right now in this spot when you don't focus on anything. So you don't exercise, you don't eat healthy, you don't have any biohacking routines, you don't focus on your sleep. My advice is this: stop focusing on the nuance. So don't listen to those experts at any level of this, because they will tell you that you have to, I don't know, take a cold shower, sleep in those glasses, or eat, or every morning eat a tablespoon of apple cider vinegar and make a somersault backwards twice because it helps to regulate your bowels. Don't listen to that nuance, because this nuance is perfect when you have optimized all the basic things that you are trying to do and to support. So let's say you are not doing any of those things. Take one sphere or one section or one area of your life. Let's say it's diet. And what you have to do at the start, at the beginning, is see what you are eating in general. So your eating patterns, what are the products that you are eating. And the first step is always to try to eat more healthy. Like, again, stop listening to all that nuance. So don't think, should I be ketogenic, carnivore, intermittent fasting? No. Start simple, start slow. If you are eating a lot of processed things, like, I don't know, McDonald's or some things that are boxed and already, let's say, a ready meal, discard that and start eating some more or less processed products. So buy, I don't know, potatoes, buy some meat, buy some veggies, cook yourself one or two meals, and see how that works. And if you, let's say, repair your eating to the point when you are eating, let's say, normally, then you can start optimizing. Like, for example, for me, it was almost 2 decades ago, I started experimenting with eating patterns, and I basically went through all the diets. And my reason for that was that, okay, I see that there are many experts. Some of them are contradictory to each other. So let's just test all these diets and see what works for me. And currently, what I'm doing is I'm on a basically intermittent fasting diet. So I have this eating window of 8 hours and 16 hours of not eating throughout the day. And I'm basically eating whatever the fuck I want diet, which is basically sometimes I eat pizza, sometimes I eat something else. What my main focus is on eating as many unprocessed things as I can. So basically everything I produce from the very basic ingredients, and that works absolutely fine for me. Because as I said before, this ketogenic diet, which is I think it's getting hot twice a year, and it's like everyone is keto. I'm keto, keto cakes, keto, I don't know, everything, keto coffee, vegan vodka. It's like people are getting crazy over it because some famous person said that it's perfect for them, and I think that it's very misleading if we focus on this expert advice too much, because the true real change is in simplicity. It's like with these diets, it's like with let's say, which diet is better for losing weight, keto or low carb or slow carb, or I don't know, potato diet. None of them is better or worse, because losing weight is basically about consuming less calories than you use. So like you can have the same effect on eating solely McDonald's and on eating a very healthy diet from, let's say, fruits, veggies, meat, or some other quality products. Because if you don't have, let's say, serious problems with diabetes or with something else, calories are calories basically. And if you consume less than you utilize, you will lose weight. And if you consume more, you can still get fat eating broccoli, however stupid that might seem. And the true problem is that it's impossible for a human body to eat, let's say, 5k calories from eating broccoli, because it would mean that you eat, let's say, 2 tons of them, and it's like
impossible. But still you are getting those micronutrients, right? So what we need to actually see in this in dieting, in food, from my perspective, is like we should first have this, and what you're saying is that we should have this strategy first, and we should estimate where are we at the very beginning right now. We are, let's say, in this place where we don't really know how to eat. We eat shit food, and we don't know how to sleep and stuff. So you need to take care of given areas very universally, and at this very moment we shouldn't be really thinking about those nuances, as you say. And then when we are all settled with what's most important, then we can upgrade in those smaller areas, right? So this is how I understood what you've said. And right now, when we are talking about the calories, it's like this is my perspective, this is my opinion. Right now we have this very wrong understanding of what calorie is. Like, we should really like calories. Calories are perfect. We need those. So it's like gasoline for your car, right? So
or like oxygen.
yeah, or like
Air,
oxygen.
basically.
Exactly. So we should want it. What the problem is, food that contains only calories and very, very small percentage of micronutrients that are very, very important for our life.
That's
So
correct.
how I'm eating, I'm also doing intermittent fasting, because I know that the body needs more time to get rid of everything and just to work peacefully. So this really works for me in practice. And I also eat everything as you do, but I've noticed that I shouldn't be mixing carbohydrates with fat. So this mixture is quite wrong for me, for my body. And my experience is that if I eat only, let's say, carb-oriented plate, like fruits and vegetables that are rich in carbohydrates, and then I eat separately after some time fatty dishes, this is very, very beneficial for me. I feel best. I feel like not bloated, not having any digestive issues. I'm full of energy, and I am full of energy for a very, very long time. So it really works for me. I don't know what this diet might be called, and I don't give a fuck. So what I also understand from what you've been saying is that we should really know how to understand our body, and we should be doing this because everybody is different. So the best way for you is going to be slightly different to that guy who actually looks very similar to you and is as skinny as you, for example, and is having similar lifestyle or whatever, but still his body is gonna slightly differ. So everything comes down to personalization. My beautiful word that I love. It's like my favorite word, really, personalization. So delving deeper into this, like understanding our body, do you use doctors like for your means? Like, do you have this? Do you visit healthcare professionals, Western healthcare professionals, and doing some examinations or whatever? And do you know how to use it for your advantage? Because as this guy in the newsletter said, there are doctors who we are supposed to listen to, but they give us contradictory information, and they also have this tendency to have this very narrow kind of opinion and mindset, you know, like taking pills and that's it. So yeah, what's your take on this, like healthcare professionals?
I mean, they are healthcare professionals, but I think that they are more like disease care professionals because they are, let's say, educated to get rid of some diseases, not to improve our health, but basically take care of the problems with it. So when I'm sick, I don't really discuss with the doctors, and I just subject to their advice usually in the areas when I don't have the expertise, let's say, or I don't know my body. So, for example, when I am sick, like I have a flu or I have some problem with running nose or bronchial issues, I know my body and I know what I need, and I know that sometimes it might be allergy related. So sometimes I discuss that with the doctor who is, let's say, helping me recover from the poor state of my health, and it usually helps. But for example, when I have problems with I don't know some orthopedical stuff, I usually consult a couple of doctors and see what is their take on my given state. And when it comes to healthcare, I really tend to look into people who are, let's say, have this more holistic take on health. Let's say there are these people like Andrew Huberman or Peter Attia, who are professionals who are, let's say, experts in some given field, but they have this holistic approach, and I try to take as much as I can from them instead of going, let's say, to the orthopedist and discussing about him the general health, because being completely honest, he doesn't have a fucking clue. It's like, for example, I'm an accountant, and there are clients who come to me for tax advice, and my tax knowledge, of course, it's pretty broad, but it's very broad and not deep. And if someone needs this very specialized approach to tax optimization, they should go to tax advisor. And that's what you do. If you have this orthopedical issue, you go to the orthopedist. If you have, let's say, dermatological issue, you go to the dermatologist. But you can't go to them and ask them for general advice for good health, because they don't have a fucking clue. It's like going to a car mechanic and ask them what's the best way to drive a car. They have no fucking clue, because they are repairing cars. And it's basically what doctors do. They repair human bodies. And there are these doctors who are more specialized in this healthcare realm, and they are more holistic at this realm. And that's where you should point your attention at. These doctors who specialize in that, because let's say there are these PDs or family doctors who are basically supposed to guide you through the process, and some of them are good at giving advice, and some of them are not. So my best practice in that realm is to educate yourself to a level where you can understand the quality of advice and the basically focus of this advice. Because if you can understand it yourself, even at this basic level, you can understand if someone is giving you quality advice or not quality advice. It's like with these magicians with ketogenic diet. There are these people who tell you that carbohydrates are wrong, well, from my perspective, they are just frauds. They are just fraudulent people who want to cash on people who are basically uneducated in this matter. Because every educated person in the realm of dieting understand that ketogenic diet is not universal. Like every person that is educated understands that eating dairy is not universal, and dairy is not good or bad. It's like with weapons. Weapons are not good or bad. They are just tools. If you utilize them properly, they are perfect. If you utilize them to killing innocent people, they are wrong. But it's not that they are like inherently wrong. They are wrong in the wrong hands. So basically, the same goes with medicine, with doctors, with vaccines. If you use it not to your needs and not to your prosperity, it will cause you some detrimental effects. And if you use it wisely, it will be good for you. So with doctors, I think that we should educate ourselves, and we should then seek advice, because we can understand this advice.
All right. It makes sense right now, because what we've discussed earlier, the strategy and areas and stuff, so everything should be also underlined with education. And this was also my way. Actually, I educated, and I've been educating myself very thoroughly in different areas. So this gives me this understanding how everything rolls, and I can understand advice, and I also can get rid of shitty advice. Yeah. So that's crucial.
Let's fitness realm as an example too, because I think that it might be eye-opening for some people. Because let's say you have a person who is a little bit overweight and they want to lose some fat. And let's put the diet, the sleeping thing.
You just fucking take a knife and cut it.
Basically. And some people are thinking whether they should start running or riding a bike or going to the gym or swimming or whatever. And the problem is that there is no better or worse physical activity. It's whatever suits you. Because you can lose, it's like with the diet. You can basically lose fat eating McDonald's only, and basically doing steps, just walking, and it will work as well as, let's say, a person who is eating a healthy diet and running. Because it doesn't matter as long as you just keep some activity that will burn some additional calories. So it's easier for you to stay in the calorie deficit. So when someone is thinking about, okay, I want to do something with myself because I've been a couch potato and I want to be physically active, it's not a choice of whether I should start doing this or that because it's better or worse, but you should think about it this way. I should start doing something that is fun for me, because first thing, it's easier to stick to something that's fun for you, and second, doing the popular thing is most often stupid because it might be detrimental for you. Let's say standard person doesn't like running, or running might seem mundane for them, and doing something that's mundane, that's not beneficial for you, is basically stupid. For me, it worked because my goal with running was a little bit different. I started running to improve my mental resilience, not to burn some calories or lose weight. I wanted to do something that I absolutely hate, and I hate running. Right now, I just dislike it. It's not the most pleasant activity, but when I began, I absolutely hated it, and I thought to myself that the best way to be able to do hard things is to start doing something that I absolutely hate and doing it regularly up until the point when it's like not an emotional thing. I just do it. And for a person who wants to be more active, taking that approach may not work. So you should just look for something that is a little bit fun for you, something that's okay. One of my friends was like looking at some different disciplines of physical activity and couldn't find anything that was fun for them. And then they dropped into this Nordic walking thing. And right now she's like Nordic walking basically every day, being active for 1 or 2 hours, and it's very beneficial for her because that's her thing. That's what's fun for her. So if you like hiking, if you like doing push-ups, calisthenics, I don't know, bodybuilding, powerlifting, whatever, do whatever floats your boat. And if you take that approach, it's better than to listening to these, fitness gurus who will tell you all the nuance that you should work out only in the morning at 5 a.m. Before the sundown. It's like, dude, it's fucking stupid. Like, get the fuck out of here with that advice, because it's detrimental for people. Do whatever floats your boat, and if you don't, let's say, exceed and you don't do something stupid with physical activity, like, I don't know, running from midnight until 6 a.m., you will be all right. And it doesn't matter if you, I don't know, go to the gym in the morning or in the evening or at night. It doesn't really matter. It's not like it's a game-changing thing, because it's better to go and do, I don't know, your workout at night than not doing the workout at all. Or it's better to go running in the morning when you have time than not going running at all. So if you have the opportunity to do something that you like, just take it. Just do the thing that's good for you and that is like appealing to you very, very well. So there is basically no better or worse physical activity. Every physical activity is good for you, and you can lose weight even from just going for a walk. It doesn't have to be intense, hardcore. You don't have to be David Goggins to start taking care of your body, because you don't have to. So again, if you want to go into nuance, it's good. If you are educated, if you have some experience in some different sports, you can just feel your body and you understand how it works, and that nuance might help you. But if you are not educated, not experienced in sports, getting into nuance strategies is simply useless. So stick to the basics. Just be active. And if you're active over a longer period of time, it's a normal thing for you. You, let's say, reinvented yourself to being physically active, then you can start looking into these nuance things, and maybe you will find something that you can optimize your physical activity. Because having an optimized training plan and not training at all is simply stupid.
So again, personalization. Everywhere is knowledge at the bottom. And when you have this knowledge and you educate yourself, then you can personalize towards your benefit.
Yeah, exactly. Let's say you're an entrepreneur and you're already solopreneur. You don't have any people in your team. You are just doing everything by yourself. So implementing sophisticated measurements at this point, when you basically have 0 clients, 0 income, is stupid. It doesn't get you anywhere. So what you have to do is simply start doing things. Start growing your business. Start getting 1 client, 2 clients, 5 clients, 10 clients, 100 clients. Then you get first person on your team, second, third. And then you can implement some strategies that at this point because at this point you are more educated, you have some experience, and you know that these strategies may lead somewhere. Because, for example, there are a lot of people who are advising to read the book Scaling Up from Vern Harnish. And the book is amazing. I've read it 2 times, and right now I'm reading it for the 3rd time. And the first time I read it, I was like, what the fuck is this advice changing my business? Like, it solves 0 of my problems, because I'm a too small fish to basically absorb that information and utilize it. The second time I read it, I was like, okay, it might be helpful in the future. I see value in it because right now I understand business on a different level, and it might be good to implement that. But right now, I'm still a too small fish to just grasp on this information and utilize it. And right now I'm reading it for the third time when I have processes, I have bigger teams, I have middle management, and it's like mind-blowing that this advice is right now helpful. And does it mean that, I don't know, 4 years ago this book was trash? No, it means my knowledge was trash and my experience was trash. And the same thing goes with all these other aspects of your life. If you have no experience, if you have no knowledge, you start with the basics. So my advice on someone who is not doing anything with their work-life balance and they want to start somewhere is start exercising regularly. Let's say twice a week. Just do 2 workouts a week, whatever the workout is. Really, whatever. Start with 15 minutes and do it for an extended period of time. Second, get rid of processed foods. Start cooking for yourself one meal. So let's say you are eating 3 meals. Start preparing your own breakfast from the quality products. Just your breakfast. You want to optimize your sleep? Yeah. You want to optimize your sleep? Don't look at these, blue light blocking glasses. Start focusing on sleeping 8 hours every night. That's it. Nothing else. And if you do that for, let's say, a quarter or half of a year, you should already see results. And what you also gain is experience. So my other advice on that field is just be mindful. Be mindful of the changes that you get from these simple tweaks in your life. Because just let's name it, exercising twice a week for 15 minutes is not a big deal. But if you are a couch potato and you haven't done anything, it will be very beneficial for you. And you will see results and you will crave more. It's like with the diet. When I started getting back to the diet 5 years ago, it was exactly this way. Because I've been like hopping off some diets, and I've been frustrated that I don't get the results. And I said to myself, okay, let's just put all my knowledge into the trash and start with the basics. And it really, really helps, because when you get these small victories, small satisfaction from basically getting your breakfast, a quality, good breakfast, this small victory translates into wanting more in the other meals as well. So when you have the satisfaction in preparing your breakfast, you will get as much satisfaction from preparing your dinner, from preparing your supper, and it simply goes better or grows better with experience. So starting small is the singular best thing you can do at any area of your life. And stop listening to that nuance, because nuance is very useful when you are experienced, because you can then distinguish quality advice that you can utilize from the shitty advice. And I think that also people shouldn't get me wrong here, because I'm not advising against ketogenic diet or low carb diet, because they are very useful, but they simply don't work for me. And from my perspective, from the perspective of my body, this kind of information is useless. But I know it's useless because I've utilized it and it didn't work.
Exactly. So you've got this experience. This is very, well, it destroys me that actually I'll have to reread a lot of books because of lack of experience at some point, at given point when I've been reading them, and I totally missed some info. That's for sure. All right. I will show you something.
Sure.
The quality of it is gonna be like as if it was, I don't know, recorded with some fucking microwave, but still, I think that you can see something here. An old guy and a kind of garment.
Mhm.
So what I want to delve into is different approaches to the health and dieting maybe. And for a kind of inspiration, I wanted to show you a kind of blouse or whatever it is. It looks like a chain armor, but it's actually woven with hemp threads, but it's very, very thick. So every time you move, those threads like intersects and move a little bit. So every insect that is going to sit on you is either has to, fly away, or it just says bye-bye to those tiny fucking legs of an insect. So you can imagine that It's quite useful if some mosquitoes just sit on you and they are, well, instantly killed, or they just can actually sit on you and have a sip. So this is Slavic way of dealing with mosquitoes. Very old way. I obviously would like better some mixture of essential oils, but this is just for inspiration that actually you can. Yeah, we have this tendency of using some spray on us that is scented with DET and stuff. So we rather seek repellents for mosquitoes instead of, I don't know, like doing something else with them. So it's just an inspiration that like what the perspectives can be, and that there are more tools to our health benefit. And I wanted to know if you use some maybe Eastern or Asian, I don't know, techniques or way of philosophy, or we were talking about health practitioners. If you actually have some visits, so maybe you visit some, non-mainstream health practitioners. What do you think about all this, and do you have any experience?
Yeah, I visited some Asian doctors, some parasitologists. I don't know how you can call it.
The guy who's dealing with parasites.
Exactly,
Okay.
Yeah. And people who are like this, I don't know the name, but they have this electrowave analyzers, like something that you just plug yourself into some machine and it gives you information whether your body is properly energized with some I don't know, waves or whatever. I also use this, and my take on that is that it doesn't kill you to try it. It doesn't kill you to do all that stuff, and sometimes the advice might be helpful because all this ancient Eastern philosophy or approach to health is interesting, and what it has is aeons of experience, and that aeons of experience, even though you don't have, I don't know, research on it and so on and so forth, might in itself be very helpful for you because there's a track record of some techniques working on different ailments, different problems, different conditions, or some approaches are just helpful in giving you the longevity benefit. So, for example, there are not many, right now there is a substantial amount of research on, let's say, meditation, but 10, 15, 20 years ago, when people heard meditation, they visualized these grumpy, strange people in the mountains who were just wasting their time. And right now we know that meditation, visualization, gratitude practice can totally change your life. So this practice is not some latest thing in Western practice, but it's something that the Westerners were looking down to, basically, to the people of the East who practiced it, and we were thinking, oh, this is stupid, this is a waste of time. And right now we are utilizing it. So I think that our view on that should be, again, as with all these nuances, let's be open to that. Let's test it if we are willing to. If not, then not test it. But let's not evaluate it in our minds, because when we are evaluating something that we haven't tested, we are like closing the possibilities for ourselves to educate from that. So when I was talking about that book, Scaling Up, if I had my eyes closed and if I had my mind closed, I would read it once and tell myself, oh, that's stupid, I don't fucking need it. But then I wouldn't be able to extract that quality knowledge from it. So being open for every experience in your life is positive. It's like I don't remember the name of the book, but I've read there that if you go to, let's say, a training, a conference, whatever, a workshop with an open mind, even if you already know everything about the subject. Let's say I am going to a accounting conference and I am quite experienced in accounting. I obviously don't claim to know everything, because that would be an overstatement and a stupid thing to say. But I know, let's say, substantial amount of knowledge in the field of accounting. And if I go to the workshop or conference and I tell myself I know everything, then I won't learn shit. But if I go there and I say, okay, I know some things, but I'm open to learning more, then my mind is open to getting that nuance filtered and extracting that quality information that I might utilize in my current state. And that's the approach that I think should be applied to looking into those Eastern philosophies, practices, because they might seem counterintuitive or woohoo, but sometimes they might be helpful. And let's say in our current philosophy, we think that parasites are passé and we just shouldn't be concentrating on that at all. But a lot of people have problems with parasites, even right now. So like getting yourself checked on that now once in a while is just helpful for you. So going to, I don't know, chiropractor or your Eastern medicine coach might be helpful once in a while, because you might learn something new or test something on yourself. So like be blindly following advice from Westerners, or there is this funny thing about bodybuilding, because like back in the day, I mean in the golden era of bodybuilding, there weren't really a lot of research about it. But people like Arnold Schwarzenegger, for example, ate like trucks. They ate like half kilo meat for every single meal. They trained like crazy and they grew like crazy as well. And people up until, I don't think, 5 years ago were thinking, oh, it's a waste of protein because you can absorb only 40 grams of protein per meal, because that was the line of thinking the science was applying. But it was like 5 years ago, I believe. There was this groundbreaking research which proved that you can absorb pretty much a limitless amount of protein from meal if your body is able to basically cycle through it or digest it. And it's interesting that so many people thought it's impossible to get over 40 grams of protein per meal, and they weren't utilizing this strategy. So my let's say lesson on that is to, okay, if the science says it works, it's cool. But sometimes if there is no science that supports some theory, it doesn't mean that this theory doesn't work.
Yeah, exactly. We have so many researchers that something we had been doing in the past, that it is actually risky and destroying your health, for example.
Yeah.
And we just did not know it. But there was some research that said that it could be quite beneficial in this very, very small area, right? So
yeah, it's like, let's say with the artificial sweeteners, people are going crazy over aspartame. That aspartame is like cancerogenic, and you absolutely can't absorb it or can't consume it. But in fact, aspartame, yes, it's carcinogenic, but you have to eat tons of it to have this carcinogenic effect. So if you occasionally drink, let's say, a can of Coke Zero, it won't affect you at all. And let's say
it was the same with seed of an apple, that there is a kind of I don't know, cyanide or similar substance. This is the reason why we should actually maybe do more research and be educated as much as we can for the times we are living in right now. Because I can imagine, and we should everybody should imagine 2000 not 20 but 2200, like what is going to be in 200 years or 150 years. I think that at that point of time, when we look back, we are going to see so many stupid things that we are doing right now, and we have no awareness. So there are research yet to be done, I guess. Yeah, this is how I see it. By the way, parasites. Do you want to tell me the story of your parasites? What was the outcome of the examination you've done, and what you've done it with those parasites, if there were any? So, and if you had any symptoms, maybe.
Yeah, I had a problem. Like it was a couple of years ago, like 6 or something, when I had this problem with digestive. I had basically the digestive issues, and I had problems with mm, my immune system, and I had this problem that I've been constantly getting flus or something, and I basically didn't know what to do with it. And I've read the book about parasites and about this. How to say it, gastroimmunology. And I thought to myself, okay, I haven't tested that yet, so let's see how it goes. And I started to optimizing my gastrointestinal things, and it basically went through the roof for me, because I started eating a lot of sauerkraut, a lot of this kiszonki in
All right. Yeah. So fermented food.
exactly fermented food. Yeah, a lot of fermented food, and it improved my bowel work, how my bowels worked, and it in itself improved my immune systems. But also I've went through this. I don't remember the name of the book, but I think it was in one of the podcasts of Ben Pakulski, who was talking with a person like Peter Attia. It wasn't Peter Attia, it was some other person. I think Dave Asprey maybe, who said that he had problems with his resistance basically, and wanted to optimize it. And one of his friends told him, well, check yourself whether you have some parasites, because they might ruin your health, even though it's like unpopular these days to have any. And I went to the examination, and I had this parasite called Lamblia. And I was like, wow, what the fuck, how is that even possible? Because I'm let's say an enthusiast of hand washing very, very often, and I'm very, let's say, careful with the food. I wash every green, every vegetable, meat, I wash basically everything. And I went to a parasitologist who confirmed that it might be a problem. He gave me some medication to get rid of it. And when I got rid of it, all of the symptoms just went away. I had less problems with the skin. I had less problems with my bowels. I had less problems with my immunology, and that was like, what the fuck experience. Because when I was going to a doctor, all of them, and what I want to emphasize is all of them, so all of the standard Western medicine doctors told me that parasitology is passé, parasitologists are stupid, it doesn't work, none of us have parasites. But all of a sudden, when I got rid of the Lamblia, I had no problems with my bowels, I had no bloating, I had no problems at all. And my health just improved immensely from that. So basically, I think it's very important not to take everything for granted, and to examine every corner, especially when you've been dealing with that kind of thing for a longer period of time. Because I believe that I started my the improvement of my immune system in like 2011 or 2010, something like that, and I was dealing with that, being constantly sick for a couple of years. And after that getting rid of that Lamblia, I've been on a completely different health planet. And that was like a mind-blowing experience. Mind-blowing.
Yeah, I can imagine. But since we are sharing some shitty stories where the health professionals are are yet shittier because they can't really help you, and they are talking shit actually, and just indicating you towards the wrong way. I had this issue with my scalp. So the skin on my head got rushy, and I don't know, some issues it was irritated all the time. So very itchy, and some rashness, the red. That was just crazy. And I've been to dermatologist who said that, this is maybe this, maybe that. You should buy this, and that. And here is some shampoo, professional, blah, 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 with some medicaments. So, and also some pills, some creams, and ointments, I have no idea. The total was like 700 zlotys maybe, or something like this. Yeah, I was very skeptical. Because I am very happy that I had already been quite educated back at the time, because she did not give me any specific answer what is going on. So it was like fucking nuking my head with whatever weapon you can imagine, yeah, and prescribe. So I was like, it cannot be. And because I was also observing my body and the symptoms, and also when the symptoms are weakening, I noticed that every time I'm on a fucking vacation and I'm having, a bath in seawater, I am actually better. So what I started doing was peeling with salt. I had been peeling my scalp with salt, which is quite cheap, twice a week. I had also been using some balms, because salt is quite destructive for your skin, obviously, and this kind of peeling, right? And guess what? Everything normalized over time, over, I don't know, 2 or 3 months. But each week I just felt the difference. So the total cost was like maybe 20 zlotys. And I do not have any problems. I know how to deal with eventual problems with my scalp, right? So, and we do not have certainty if that way of my dermatologist would have been like a success, right? So it might be that I would buy all this stuff from this 700 zloty prescription and still had some fucking issues. So yeah, my trust towards those Western specialists is very deteriorated. And yeah, this is a kind of like the story for inspiration, that you should really look for the symptoms and what works in practice. And speaking of symptoms, do you have any symptoms like specific indicators of your bad state? Sometimes when you see that you are actually getting worse and some sickness is just behind the corner, yeah, so some signs or symptoms.
Yeah, for example, I'm wearing my Garmin watch all the time, and one of the things or crucial measurements that are warning me that something is coming is my HRV, so the heart rate variability. When it gets lower and it gets below 40 beats, it's usually a sign that something is going on, and sometimes it's just let's say regeneration issues. When I have when my workload is high and when my training volume is high, I sometimes struggle to regenerate properly. My sleep is deteriorated, and so on and so forth, and that's like the final outcome. But the most important factor that is non-measurable, I just perceive it, let's say, is the quality of my sleep. When I just go to sleep and I sleep normally and I wake up and I feel, let's say, standard, then everything is fine. But sometimes even though I have slept for, let's say, 8 hours or 9 hours, and I wake up this, a little bit grumpy, a little bit rusty, I know that something is coming. And that's the sign number one. Sign number two is appetite. Usually I'm just, I can eat like a truck. I can eat everything in whatever the amount. I just don't have a problem with eating at all. And when I have this day that like eating food is not fun for me, so I just ate, but it wasn't satisfactory. I have the problem with maybe not with digestion, but I have this feeling that it takes longer to digest something. I also know that something is coming, and it usually is. It's like I'm getting a flu or something. And the other thing that is like also visual is when I go for a run or for a ride or whatever this let's say endurance sport I do, I have this tendency to feel heavy. Like I'm just going and I have a problem with breathing normally. It's like I see that my breathing is a little bit heavier, then I also know that something is coming. And these are usually my, let's say, standard signs that something is off.
Okay, right.
Do you have such things as well?
Yeah, I do. Okay, so this one is actually connected with the question I have for you. Do you have any conventional health practices that are non-mainstream that you've experienced and maybe discovered on your own and feel like everybody should know about this? So my experience with this phlegm is that, and it's because of the late pandemic we had, like, look, they could test you with those sticks and tell you that, you know, you are going to sick in a day or two. So it means that actually those bacteria live there and they have this perfect environment to grow. So what you need to do is to actually get rid of this perfect environment for them to grow. And if you get rid of it, I know it doesn't sound sexy, but I do it every day in the morning. And it really works. And I also can actually say what kind of phlegm do you have. If you can rid of it, it's all right, and you are just preventing the bacteria and viruses or whatever to grow. But if it's a little bit too late, you'll have very great difficulties with getting rid of that phlegm, and it could even hurt you, you know, down there in the throat. So I have those indicators because sleeping and having issues during sleep and bad sleep quality, it can be because of different reasons.
Yeah, you can have some, let's say, psychological things, some pressure, whatever.
Oh yeah, and dreams.
Pressure of the air is like.
Yeah, or your girlfriend is I don't know, unwell and waking up, whatever. Yeah. Mm. So you see, I have to connect more indicators. But yeah, it really works for me, and this is how I can have this information that, listen, tomorrow you are going to be worse probably because you can't get rid of that phlegm and it starts to hurt or whatever. It also is a kind of indicator that I should maybe wash my throat down with some herbs and try to yet avoid the sickness. And it really works for me. Like during this 3-year practice right now, I can see that I can prevent sicknesses that way. If you look at this from the perspective of how actually we get sick, it's either there is something wrong with our body inside. So this is not the case. Our case is the enemy from the outside. And this is the most problematic thing for you because of those enemies we get sick. Parasites, we already covered that. But, you know, viruses, fungi, yeah, bacteria. So how do they get in? There are just a couple of ways to get in. And if you understand them, you can, I don't know, defend yourself better. Like they can get in by your eyes, ears, wounds. If you know that, you can, for example, use some eye drops with preventative substances that are very mild. It's going to help you fight against those bacteria. And if you just look at this throat thing from the perspective of nose and mouth, that we have those membranes inside, and it's all very vulnerable here. If you do not use some aromatherapy with essential oils, and you don't really care what kind of air you are breathing with, like, look, if you understand that this is a very vulnerable place for you, you will understand that actually sitting in a place that is air conditioned all the fucking time, this is so problematic for your health and immune system. So you just understand all those little things that are fundamentals, and you can just observe and personalize for your body, your experience. Yeah, that's so intriguing, so interesting. So this phlegm is my thing, and very easy to implement in your own life, right? So do you have anything similar?
Yeah, this thing, I remember that you told me about the phlegm on one of our phone calls, and I was like, well, let's try to use it. And I utilize this technique, so I'm cleaning my throat and I'm getting rid of the phlegm every morning and every evening, and it works awesome. And what I also do, and I think it's intertwined with this, is I also clean my nose with this, rhino flush, I call it. Uh, so basically, there is this the popular thing in Poland. I think it's called irrigacin. It's this kind of bottle that you just put in one of your nose holes, and you run water through your rhino, and it basically cleans it. And I found it extremely helpful in getting rid when let's say I'm feeling a little bit down and I feel a lot of that phlegm like getting in my rhinos. I just clean them and it works like a charm. Like I yeah, if I have a let's say when I don't fight it back in time and I get like running nose, it helps extremely recovering from that. So like flushing your rhinos works very well. And also what I do when I feel a little bit down, so I see that my sleep is a little bit off. When I feel a little bit off, what I start doing is I hydrate myself more intensely. And what I mean by that, I normally try to drink 3 to 4 liters of water, just plain water each day. I don't calculate other fluids like tea or coffee into that. I mean only water. Uh, and I feel a little bit off, then it's a sign for me that maybe I am a little bit dehydrated, and that's also the cause of like lowering my immune system. And I see that drinking a lot of fluids works like a charm as well. And my recipe that my grandma instilled in me when I am already sick is drinking tea with honey and with lemon, and I drink that by gallons, literally. Like I have this jar that has 1 liter, and I drink 3 or 4 of those when I'm sick with honey, with lemon, and just black tea, and it works wonders. I don't know if that's a placebo effect or not. I don't care because it works, so it helps me recover faster as well. And one of the unusual things that I also do is when I am feeling that something might get into me, I have this also jar with vitamin C. There is this company called, I think, Ecomedica, and they have this high quality vitamin C made from fruit extracts only. And I take it also by handful. So I implement 1 to 5 grams at a time of vitamin C, and I hit these big shots 2-3 times a day. So I increase my consumption of vitamin C up until, I know, 10 to 15 grams of it, and that way it boosts my immune system and also works wonders. Plus, it's very hard to overdose vitamin C because it's easily processed through the body. So it also works wonders. And the other thing is that if I feel a little bit down, so let's say I woke up, I feel like I'm under the weather, I have this tendency to ease off on my training. So I just don't do my workout because even though workout is every physical activity is beneficial for you, when your body is a little bit down, every workout is a stress. Whether you like it or not, it's a stress for the body. So I try to wind down with all the activities. It also comes down to, let's say, work-related stuff. If I'm feeling under the weather, I know that this day I have to wind down my work things. It's also about this balance. Right now, my body needs more time to recover, so I'm lowering my activity at work. And let's say I work 4 hours. I tell myself, okay, today I'm not effective, I'm not productive, so let's stick to the recovery protocol. And I also focus on getting earlier to bed, let's say around 20. And prior to that, I take a very hot shower. And very hot shower in the evening works like a charm for me. And also I put on 1 or 2 layers of clothing before I go to bed to sweat a lot. I don't know if that's science based or not, because usually I'm just sleeping in my boxers or totally naked, however stupid that might seem. Throughout the year, I don't like pajamas. I don't mind getting a little bit cold at night, because it does me no harm. But when I'm a little bit sick, I like to put on some pajamas or 2 or 3 t-shirts to sweat more, and it makes me recover a ton faster. Really, a ton faster. When I'm like getting cold, I'm trying to getting hot, and it works. It works like a charm.
I have my own special wool. Yeah, it's made of wool. Those socks are terrific. But also, yeah, we have this tendency to sleep in too hot environment. But yeah, the room temperature is another issue, another thing. You mentioned supplements like vitamin C and stuff. Do you take any?
Like on a daily basis, I take multivitamins and multiminerals. It's old school, but again, it works for me perfectly fine. It's like I use this multivitamin and multimineral complex. I also take omega 3s in a bigger dose, and also I take creatine. And creatine is a supplement that I take like 5 g a day, and I've been doing that for almost 20 years now, every single day. Yeah. I've had some, let's say, minor pauses, but I've been taking it really my whole adult life, because creatine is, I think it's a magical supplement. It's one of those supplements, apart from just protein, that's been the most researched, and it has no side effects, nothing, and it has positive effects on pretty much every part of the body. So it works wonders for your mind, for your brain, for your endurance, for your strength, for your muscle tissue, for the organs of your body. It's just a perfect thing. And creatine naturally goes with, you can absorb it from red meat, but to absorb, let's say, 2 grams of creatine, you would
5 kilos.
something like this. So it's like, it is possible, but I remember that my top meat consumption was 1.5 kilo a day, and I think I've been eating that amount for like 1.5 month, and I felt like, holy crap, it's so much fucking protein that, oh god. Yeah, but creatine is like it works wonders, really. Creatine is awesome. So I have this like small dose constant supplementation, and I just love it. And occasionally I don't want to call it a cycle, because it has these wrong connotations. But occasionally I also supplement myself with fungi, and one of them is like lion's mane, cordyceps, and reishi, because and chaga occasionally, because they support so many things. Like right now I'm not consuming any of those, but I also normally consume like lion's mane every day, 1 g, and I also love it because of the improvement in the capabilities of especially in
Of your mind, right? Yeah. I know all of them, by the way, and that was my another question, because you work very, very hard with your mind, with your head, right, with your brains, and also you study German with us, and you use I can imagine you use quite often Spanish and English in English right now, right? So your brain is very, very active, and I wanted to know if you also do some supplements for your brain. So those would be the supplements. I am actually going to I want to invite somebody who knows a lot about those things, because with this new introductory we've got at PLA school, I don't know if you've already been watching the new videos. I will want to have a continuity of this whole thing, and supplements for your brain is going to a huge subject there, because people want to, for example, study languages and blah 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 and this and that, but they sleep wrong, they eat shit, and they do not know how to help your brain with this harder work, and exercises and just studying, right? So So yeah, this is a huge subject, and I'm happy that you've already mentioned those supplements. How do you determine if you need them, when you need them, when do you use them, why you've stopped?
I stopped because I have this right now. I took a break from any morning routines, and one of the parts of my routine was to make a morning coffee with this fungi. So I simply stopped because I'm not supporting those rituals at the moment. It's like a routine of stopping to doing routines to make them feel more, I don't know, necessary, needed. I wanted to see how my productivity goes from stopping these morning routines, and I'm like amazed that it actually improved, which is counterintuitive because every expert on productivity tells you that these morning rituals, morning routines improve your productivity over time. But I think that the key here is not whether those rituals or routines. I'd rather call them routines, not rituals, because ritual is something that we do for the sake of doing, and routine is something that has track record. That's whole aim is to improve your thing, and it works. And my what I mean by that is that if you stop doing a routine, you can observe whether it was improving your well-being or your productivity, or it was just something that you did because just because. And I think that implementing a routine of any kind is perfect for you as long as it really supports your goals and whatever you're trying to achieve. And if you find yourself doing it mindlessly and doing it like a, I don't know, like you go to your job and you don't feel like doing it and you do it instead, or even though, I think it's time to change that routine. So routines also should be switched, changed, improved on a constant basis to be able to enrich our process. And that's why I stopped taking fungi, but I haven't stopped taking creatine and multivitamin because I'm doing that all the time, because I just see that as a whole huge benefit, because lion's mane is a perfect tool to optimize your the chemistry of your brain and cognitive functions. However, I still believe that the most important thing is regular sleep, regular physical activity, and optimized diet. So I stopped seeing good results with the fungi, and I think that it was due to the fact that I've been doing that routine for a very, very long time. Because that my routine, I've been like tweaking it a little bit, but I've been doing it for 3 years without a stop. So it was quite long, and right now I've been, I believe, almost 2 months without that routine, and it works wonders. So I just stick to it. But I'm going back to taking lion's mane because I think it's an amazing thing to take. What
I want to grow it myself, like reishi and lion's mane, because recently I've seen on Allegro you can buy this kind of block with this special kind of soil that is already like infused with the spores, and yeah, I wonder how does it taste like. And
yeah, it might be a cool experience. Yeah, and they really work amazing. Also, cordyceps is good for endurance, and chaga is good for immune system. So it.
And by the way, with cordyceps, there was a kind of myth that I've heard from my ex-girlfriend who had been into medicine and the whole thing she was studying, and since cordyceps has this ability, because it's at first it's fungi and then it becomes a mushroom, like fungi meaning this very, very small being that is, for example, quite similar to candida, and it infects insects to the way that it can actually like influence their behavior. And this is the reason why there were myths that cordyceps as a supplement is going to be very bad for you and your health. And I wonder if you know some more myths concerning health, and maybe taking supplements, but maybe other foods. So do you have anything like this?
Yeah, that carbohydrates kill you. That I've been already saying that. Yeah. Also, I think that there is too much bad rap with, let's say, saturated fat. Like I don't know that butter kills you, that heavy meat or red meats kill you. I think it's also about the dosage. So unless you are like drinking these fats on their own and over consuming them, I think you're just good to go. What are other myths? I don't know. That generally meat is dangerous. If it's high quality meat, it's not dangerous. You can.
So yeah, it is dangerous if it's frozen and you throw it into somebody's face, for example. It can be quite dangerous.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. And what about some foods that you do not eat, but they are perceived as healthy? My example is onion. I cannot eat it. I have kind of allergy towards the sulfates that are in it, and I understand. I am educated enough to understand that onion contains some beneficial substances, and since I am avoiding onion as I can, then I should eat something similar that contains those possible substances that are possibly quite important for my body. So I just know that, for example, I should be adding some more garlic because it's just a very similar vegetable.
Yeah, and garlic is, oh my god, like one of my favorite vegetables of all time. I love garlic. I just love Italian cuisine: garlic, tomatoes, and bread and cheese.
Exactly, or this very, very easy pasta, aglio e olio. You are just having spaghetti with garlic infused olive oil and Parmigiano Reggiano, and it's just so simple. And as you said earlier, the magic is in simplicity very often. So here too, in cuisine. So yeah, garlic. Do you have anything similar to my onion?
Not really. I am everything eater. I eat pretty much everything, all I can. I love food. One thing that I don't eat is raisins. I fucking hate raisins. Yeah, on their own, I might occasionally eat them in this sudden mix of nuts.
Like, is it because of cheesecake or
Yeah,
the raisins in
yeah.
it?
Raisins in cheesecake is the worst fucking nightmare. Raisins in cheesecake or in apple cake on apple pie. Oh god, no. Fuck no. Raisins have no go in for me. It's like the worst thing ever. I just hate them. Even though I love grapes. Grapes is my like a poison for me, because if I eat one grape, I eat them all, regardless of the portion. I can eat like 1 kilo, 2 kilos, 5 kilos. Even after eating a huge meal, I am just eating them by handful, and it's like, wow, holy shit, I can eat tons of them. And also one of the myths in food, and one of the things that I disagree with most of the dietitians these days, is about eating eggs. It's like, you can eat only 4 eggs every week, and I'm like, what the fuck? I've been eating 5 eggs a day for like 3 decades of my life, and it's like, I'm still alive. My cholesterol is awesome. My cardiac system is also very healthy. So like, I'm like, who the fuck told you that? It's like stupid. Like, eggs are fucking healthy. They're superior foods. It's like, dude, if you can eat eggs, if I had 3 choices of food that I would eat until the end of my life, it would be eggs, tomatoes, and garlic. And it's like, or grapes. Yeah. Eggs, tomatoes, and grapes. Yeah, perfect. Yeah, perfect mixture. And I can eat that until the end of my life. I think eggs are brilliant for pretty much anything. I don't use like a lot of vegetable oils, like sunflower oil or this very popular oil in rapeseed. Yeah. It's like I don't use it at all. I only utilize olive oil, occasionally avocado oil, and for frying I also use olive oil, because it has this bad rap that you shouldn't fry on it, but you can safely fry on it unless you are like deep using it for deep frying purposes and exceeding the temperature. So for let's say normal frying purposes, it's completely safe and fine. But I also what I love is frying on the butter. For example, when I'm making pancakes, which I'm a total fan of, I love pancakes fried on butter. It's like, oh my fucking god! And you serve them with peanut butter, with goat cheese, and with some jam or honey. Oh my!
All right, I need to do that.
Holy shit! It's like, oh man, ooh.
I haven't eaten today yet. Fuck off. Stop that.
Yeah,
Okay, so
yeah. So that's it. And one of the myths, I think, also, but it's a little bit it's a delicate matter. I think it's fasting. So some people think that fasting is bad, and also that's one of the strategies that I use when I'm, let's say, I feel over. How to say that? I think overeaten or over satisfied with food. I tend to have this, let's say, 1 day without food in a month or 1 day without food in a quarter. Sometimes it goes up to 3 days without eating, and I think it's totally safe for people to fast for a day or two, but they have to have, let's say, this base health level quite higher or just normal. So if you are, let's say, obese or overweight, you don't have this health regimens, you are not active, it's not safe to make a fast because it might do more wrong than good for you. But if you are a healthy individual, this occasional longer period you go without eating might be very helpful for you. And I also find that it helps me with regulating of my bowels. When I sometimes feel very heavy, I just make 1 day of eating nothing but water and coffee, and it cleans my body very well.
oh yeah, does wonders. Yeah, really. For me too. Yeah.
Another thing about diet is something that you said, that you don't mix fats with carbs. I also found that what works for me very well is eating fat and protein breakfast at whatever time it might be. Today at probably 3 p.m. But I find it very helpful as well, because fasting in the morning allows me to boost my cognitive functions, and also I find that after eating fat and protein breakfast, I have this effect extended over the longer period of time. So the first time I eat carbs is really in the dinner or before I work out, because there are some people that advocate eating only fats and protein even if you are doing endurance exercise, but I just feel grumpy, and I think that carbs are essential when you are doing endurance work, because your body just uses them for fuel much better than it utilizes fat.
Yeah, like the fuel from carbs is just your body has easier access to that fuel. So it really seems logical to eat more carbs around your training. Yeah. That's my thing too. Concerning fasting, I would just add that if you are a fatty and couch potato and actually you eat whole day, then fasting for you is 1 hour, 2 hour, then 3 hours, and just take one step at a time, and everything is gonna be lovely. So after a little bit of when you've got some experience with fasting, so you are going to get there to this 1 full day of fasting, and then it's gonna be 1.5, and eventually maybe 3 days, right? I've done 3 days 2 or 3 times, and it's perfect. I am really like, everything restarts after this, and your sleep is so deep and longer, but after you start eating again, it's like you are so refreshed, really. You need to prepare, you need to understand how it works and what are going to be the problems. It's like a roller coaster. I don't know if you've experienced that too. Like it's at 1 hour you can be so fast and quick towards everything and like clarity of thinking and focus on one thing. And after 2 hours you want to puke. You are yeah, grumpy as a cat, and it's just
Yeah, I also experienced that, but for me, it happens after day two. It's like one day without food is totally easy. It's like I can do it without any, I don't know, tension, pressure. Yeah, preparation. It's like no problem at all. 2 days, it's like slightly different, slightly more difficult, but I still don't see it as a problematic thing. But after 2 days, so the third day, it's like you said, it's like a roller coaster. I sometimes feel like a hero, like the clarity of mind is perfect, like I'm so swift, I can do things with a grander speed. But there are times when I just feel grumpy, like, oh my god, I can't think. All I can think is some steak, some pasta, some pizza. Or sometimes I have this short period of imagining the huge amount of food that I'm going to consume to break the fast. And that's also a good advice, not to jump on the food, but rather start slow, especially with some
fermented things. I think that you should start with fermented food. No, first you should actually just let your stomach know that you are back in the game, and it should be some fat. This is the protocol I'm aligned with, and it works fine for me. So very small amount of fat. It could be avocado with some butter, and I add some salt and pepper, and sometimes different oils like grapeseed oil and stuff. And after a while, yeah.
broth works very well. Like the first thing is like a cup of broth with some vegetables. It's like it works wonders.
Okay. Yeah, I do broth like almost the last thing. Think that you should go slow with like not really mix the substances. And here in broth, you actually mix the fat with carbs. So this is the reason why I actually moved it to the bottom of the list. And I start with little oils, then fermented stuff, and then very, very, very soft vegetables that are keto oriented, like broccoli. Yeah, and then I move to some eggs, meat, and maybe broth and stuff.
Yeah, that's interesting. I have to test it myself.
Yeah, you can see for yourself if it works for you. Yeah, yeah. All right. So to close it up, I would like you to tell me if you have any health challenges right now.
Health challenges. I think that I don't have any major thing going on. What I'm currently working on is getting used to sleep deprivation, because this on the intersection of September and October, I'm going to be a father, so it might be very very challenging on my sleep. So that's something that I'm preparing mentally for. But there are no like some health challenges that I'm going through right now. I'm rather optimizing than recovering from anything major.
Okay. Yeah. Lovely. So let's try to summarize all this and try and create a kind of philosophy.
Trying to wrap it up is like start slow with everything, and gradually move up as you progress. And don't listen to the nuance at the very beginning, or try to listen to the nuance with an open mind, not focusing on what you can or what you can't, but rather being like Bruce Lee. So looking at all the theories, taking what is beneficial for you, and discarding the rest. And what is important is also to have an open mind to reevaluate all of your approach, because what's been useful, let's say last week, might not be useful today, and also what is useful today might not be useful in a year or two. So it's important to like be in this constant mode of optimizing what you are doing, because like things change, technology changes, the knowledge changes, and also your body changes as you get older, as you progress. You might need some new stimuli. It's like with training, for example. If you're training the same way for your life. You might maintain what you've been training for, but you want progress. If you want to progress, you have to change your routines now and then, and it's important not to be the prisoner of your habits. So that's why I emphasize so much having an open mind and this need of re-evaluation, because if you constantly re-evaluate, you will be able to optimize. So you look at your things, at the things that you're doing, and ask yourself whether that supports you or maybe works to your detriment. And if you do that, I am totally convinced that you can work the hell off of your routines, life, and improve your health and performance as well.
Okay. Magical. Great talk. Thank you very much.
And to sum it up, I would like to ask you a question. What's your take from this conversation?
Yeah, like thinking differently about my business, my things, and also meditation. Because somewhere down there in my list of things I want to incorporate into my life, my daily routine, there is this meditation, and I am not pursuing it. I am not doing meditating at all, even though I used to do it, and I think that it was beneficial, but maybe I lacked some, again, perspective. Maybe I lacked some seeing this nuance. I don't know, but I need to get back to this, definitely. Yeah. And also food, because I was like inclined towards eating carbs very early. So like what you've said about eating only fats at the very beginning of the day, as for breakfast, you mentioned eating fats and protein, like it prolongs this nice feeling you get. Yeah, I just think that I should maybe avoid carbs at the very beginning of my day and eat them a little bit later. So I'm gonna have some tests around this. So there are more things that I am going to structurize and get a list after I've edited the whole episode and re-listened to. So even though I'm quite well educated, so to say, I can have some take after our conversation. So I am fucking sure that our audience is gonna be thrilled, and they have like a huge great material that is just full of great advice that comes from practice, not only from theory.
Yep.
Yeah. So yeah, thank you very much, Łukasz.
Thank you so much as well. Thanks for having me.
Yeah. Any last words?
You can observe Fit za biurkiem at Instagram, and you can pop to my professional website, which is pieseckiegala.pl, for some accounting info if you need any, or just to drop by and see what we're doing, what we're cooking.
Yeah, great. So you can see with that guy, you can achieve quite a lot, business-wise and health-wise. Just observe and yeah, have your own conclusions. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Once again. Cheers, and until next time.
Bye-bye.